ID Alliance presents this week's short attention span sales tip. Good morning, everyone. Bill Farquharson with the fabulous Kelly Malazzi once again. Oh, that was cute. So today we're going to talk about answer a question that came to me yesterday, Kelly, from a gentleman by the name of Eli. And Eli said, I'm reading this,
Hi,
how do
Eli.
I get large accounts? Hi, Eli. Long-time listener, first-time caller. He said, how do I get large accounts? I don't even know where to start. And I thought, okay, well, let's throw it out there because you really need these large accounts in order to get to that stratosphere, right? You want to be the sales stud. And we all think to ourselves, well, it's kind of dangerous to have one account that's 30, 40, 50% of your business. But boy, if that's the case, then you're probably doing something right at the same
Game
time.
changer.
Yeah,
You know what, Bill, though, before we even go forward, you know what I just thought? This just really popped into my head is
this just
like
in.
this the big account is going to be different for different people, right? Like for the size of your company kind of determines what the size of the account is. And it's important to think like everybody wants to print for Allstate or for McDonald's or something like that. But your organization, again, depending on your size, there may be small to medium sized companies that would be a significant bump in your business. So
Sure.
it's just important to kind of define what big means to you first, too.
And you know what, Kelly? Whenever somebody says to me, oh, I got great news. I just got the humongous company account. I ask two questions. How long did it take you? And how'd you get in? Now, the answer to the first question is always, always, always 18 months or more. It's
Yeah.
not a short thing. You really have to look at the horizon when you're making these calls. You look at these big companies thinking, wow, I could go right down Main Street and go into purchasing, but do I really want to get into that what's your price conversation? Probably not. So I'm going to go through a side door. And that's how people get into these accounts. It's always a story. Always. It's,
Yep.
I got connected with a foursome on a Sunday morning. I got talking to this guy. It turns out he works at a humongous corporation. I gave him every 10-foot putt and he got me in. It's always something like that.
Right.
And so this is a very unusual set of circumstances. And to the surprise of no one, there are some unusual steps to get in the door. So let's take a deeper dive at this. Kelly, I'm a father of three girls, and I was the president of the Duxbury, Massachusetts Youth Softball League, the Girls Youth Softball League. And so I'd start off like every other volunteer meeting. I'd start off by saying, all right, everybody, I'm going to pass this pad of paper around. Please include your name. This is all the board meetings. Your name, your phone number, your email address. And at the end of the night, I'm looking at the email addresses and I'm seeing Harvard University,
Right.
Children's Hospital, humongous bank, insurance company. Like, wow. These are upper echelon people. I went back and looked them up and they're all C-level people.
Right.
And that's the day it dawned on me that slouches don't volunteer. The people that you want to talk to volunteer. And I still do some volunteer work. My mom and dad used to always say, you give a percentage of your time, percentage of your income. And now I've gotten to the habit of saying, so what do you do for work? As a result, you get in some great conversations. But that is one side door to get in touch with someone. So, but the big question, Kelly, is, okay, I've got this opportunity. How do I get in? So what suggestions would you offer? If I called you up, if I'm Eli and I said, I've got some big accounts, I've got 5 big accounts I want to get into, how do I do it?
First thing I would do is think about all the different departments within those organizations that may have a need for what you do, because there's not going to be just one. I mean, they may have a print shop on site but they also have human resources and they have marketing and they have brand development. And they have real estate and they have administration and there's all different ways. So I would probably start with LinkedIn and
Okay.
try to jot down all the names of all the people within that organization that I may make connections with. And again, using LinkedIn, you may find out that your roommate went to college with one of these people, or you may find out that your daughter and somebody, there's just a number of ways that you could find out that you may already know somebody. Another thing I would consider doing, if it's a public entity like a hospital or something, I would physically go to that place and walk around and look and say like, oh, there's brochures sitting on every office at radiology and at oncology. And I would start to gather experiential data and just so that I might take some pictures. I might, if it's a retail company, I would buy something. If it's a restaurant, I would eat there. And that informs the messaging that you start to develop around it, which is, I really enjoyed the blah, blah, blah at your
Right.
blah, 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 right?
Right.
Or I wanted to ask you a question about why you guys decided to do X, right? This is different. These are called schema busters. You're saying something different than what everybody else is out there saying. Um,
Well,
obviously you look at their websites and stuff like that too. But again, if it's a big enough organization, you may be able to kind of physically get into it a little bit.
I think you make an excellent point. Go to your bank. You want to call in a big bank? Go to your branch.
Right.
Walk in the door. Talk to the manager. Introduce yourself. Tell them why you're there.
Right.
I'm doing some reconnaissance on the bank. Who do you report to? What is the initiative? Are you refinancing? Are you looking for more car business? Are you now selling insurance? Remember, every company, no matter what they are, everybody's trying to grow. They can get more customers, they can get more business from existing customers, or they can go into new markets. Everybody. So whether it's a bank or a hospital, whether it's a franchise organization, it doesn't matter. They all have those same thoughts in mind, and you've got to go figure out what they're doing and how they're doing it so that you've got some idea who you should be talking to. And Kelly, heard me say 5 big fish. How many big fish should I have in my targets, in my sites?
I would say no more than that. Usually, depending on how much other prospecting you're doing and how much of your time is spent on account maintenance, that number is going to be between 2 and 5 actively.
Okay.
You may have some others in the bullpen that you're kind of waiting. You may swap one out when you either make forward progress with one or if you just decide you're after 3 years of trying, you're going to give up on another one. But yeah, 2 to 5, I would think would be probably the min and max.
All right, so let me ask you this. Is it cool to call on different people within the same company at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially because there's probably going to be different departments. And look, I say this all the time, but what's the worst thing that could happen if you end up imagine you put yourself in that organization for a second and go, hey, some dude named Bill called me today. Oh, that's so funny. Dude named Bill called me today too. That's probably not going to happen. But so what?
Right.
Like what now you're being penalized for doing your job? Like that doesn't, I would say kudos if something like that happened.
Err on the side of aggressiveness,
Yeah,
right? Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah, more, let's see, better to apologize and ask for permission.
Well, and again, with big organizations, you can do different things too. You could ask if they do vendor reviews. I want to bring bagels in for everybody in your communications department. I want to, you can try different things. How great would it be to have a giant audience instead of just trying to get with one person? So
3 key pieces of advice here, gang. Be diligent, be patient, be creative. This is the Verizon sales call. This is a long-term call. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Be creative. Go after different people. But remember, you really have to believe that you are moving the sales needle. And even though it might sound like you're shouting or feel like you're shouting into the abyss, you are getting through. Reach out to your network. This is one of the times where it pays to have a really big LinkedIn network where you can reach out and say, does anybody know anybody who works at Humongous Corporation? That's all you need is one person to get you in. That's it. So, all right, Ms. Malazzi, thank you very much. I will give you the rest of
thanks,
the month
Bill.
off. And
Great.
I'll make your contact information available if anybody wants to reach out to Ms. Malazzi. Please do.
Thank
And
you.
we will have her on again, and we will both be in completely different outfits. We swear.
That would be fantastic.
All right, Kelly. Thanks. Mwah.
Mwah.